Almost ready. That seems only fair. It seems more fair that way. I believe we're ready. I'd like to call to order the November 16th Biscayne Park Code Compliance Meeting at 6:30 PM. Code Officer Nibs, would you mind calling the roll?
Roll call. Janie Anderson. Dale Blayton. Linda Dillon.
Here.
Rodolfo Barrientos.
Good evening, everyone. This is the meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board. The board is authorized pursuant to Chapter 14 of the Village's Land Development Code to ensure compliance with the village's Code of Ordinances. The members of the board are citizens and residents of the Village of Biscayne Park. We volunteer our time and are not paid for our services. The purpose of each hearing is to give any alleged violators the opportunity to contest the decision of the code compliance officer, which resulted in the issuance of a notice of violation, and to determine whether a violation of the village's code has occurred or is occurring. We are not authorized to dismiss violations based on hardships, ignorance, or the fact that others may be guilty of the same violation. These hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial manner. Our responsibility is to act much like a judge in a court, and that is to hear cases presented by the village's code compliance officers and to hear contradictory arguments presented by the alleged violator. We are not authorized to change the code. The Village Commission is solely authorized to enact or revise codes. Conversely, neither the Commission nor the village manager have the authority to overrule the findings of the board. Pursuant to Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes, orders of the board can only be appealed to the Circuit Court of Miami-Dade County. We have the authority to assess and order the payment of civil penalties and to issue orders having the force of law, to command whatever steps are necessary to bring a violation into compliance, and to assess administrative costs. In order to make a finding upholding the code compliance officer's decision, we must find that there is substantial competent evidence that the named violator was responsible for a violation of the relevant section of the code as charged. The hearing will proceed in the order of the docket. The village will first present its case, and the board may request clarifications to fully understand the case. When you address the board, please state your name, your relationship to the property, and state whether or not you are contesting the violation, in which case you will then have the opportunity to present your case. All documentary evidence presented by the parties must be submitted for placement in the hearing file. No documentary evidence will be considered unless the alleged violator or code compliance officer submits a copy for the hearing file. Each party shall have the right to call and examine witnesses, to introduce exhibits, to cross-examine opposing witnesses on any matter relevant to the issues, even though that matter was not covered in the direct examination, to impeach any witnesses regardless of which party first called them to testify, and to rebut the evidence against him. If you intend to address the board and have not signed in, please sign in on that sign-in sheet. Anyone wishing to address the board, please stand and raise your right hand so you may be sworn in. You are reminded that this board is a quasi-judicial board and giving false testimony can be penalized. So anyone, please, if you're planning to testify tonight, if you would stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth under penalty of law? Please be seated. Okay. Any additions, deletions, or withdrawals?
Yes. Yes. Number 5, new business, item A, 715 Northeast 115th Street, case number EEN 20-0515. That has been changed from new business to old business.
And where do you want it to fall in old business? It's at the end?
Correction. That case, I'm sorry, it's in the summary sheet. It's marked dismissed. The correction is not for dismissal.
The summary sheet.
Oh, that's,
So it would remain as, under old business as 4A?
Talking about 715 115th Street? Okay.
Yeah.
Then
okay, case number EEN 22-0573.
I'm with 200515. That goes up to old business? In the beginning, or where would you focus? And put it in order. At the end. Okay, that works. And
what was the other one? I'm sorry.
so 715 Northeast 115 Street, for anybody following on your agendas, simply instead of being new business, being old business. Is that correct? That's correct.
That's correct.
And you have another case, code officer?
Okay, case number EEN 22-0573. That's in the summary sheet. It's marked dismissed.
Bear with me, 'cause I have
And-
notes on that. Okay. I have the notes from that meeting. It was the case underneath it, correct? That one.
You're right. The case that was dismissed was 572. The case before you today is 573. So the note that says dismissed should not be there. That's the correction.
There were two, and it got confusing. They came right under each other. So, any further additions, deletions, or withdrawals?
That's it.
On to minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Any corrections?
Well, I just had under, August the 17th, 2022, I just had that you had seconded. Where it says Linda.
Oh, okay. That's a Scrivener's. We can, you made the motion and Linda second?
No, I made the motion and you seconded. Jamie seconded. But I may
I don't think so.
have, okay. I may have, that's my question.
I think it was Linda.
I think it was me.
All right.
So do I have a motion to approve the October 26th meeting
I'll
minutes?
make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion and a second. Minutes passed or nothing. Code officer, if you would call your first case.
Our first case, that's item D, 971 Northeast 113th Street, case number EEN 21-0746.
D like David.
We're asking the board to dismiss this case. I would like to bring you to the attention of notice of violation that was issued on this case dated June 26, 2021. We found a lot of discrepancies in the way that notice of violation was issued, and we are asking the board. We had a meeting with the building official to clarify how this violation was supposed to look like. The inspector that issued the violation indicated that there was interior work that was being done without permits. But he was supposed to have issued this violation as a violation for interior work without building permits. He issued it as interior work with a demo permit. And the building official clarified that that shouldn't have been issued that way. So because we have that error in the violation that was issued, I'm asking that this case be dismissed and we will reissue it correctly.
I apologize. Which of the case numbers was that one?
The case number is EEN-21-0746.
Ah, I have. Sorry, it's a little out of order. So it's simply a matter of.
4-6 is the case that was called
I'm sorry. This is the one that needs to be dismissed and. needs to be
and
reissued.
reissued.
Any discussion?
Well, purely because it was issued as a demolition and not.
Instead
as-
of a building permit. And I can briefly tell you the difference. When if the way they issue the violation as a demo permit, it doesn't allow an inspector to go into the property and inspect the violations or the process or the progress of the interior work. The building permits now opens up to the inspector going into the property and inspecting the property stage by stage. The demo permit is a demo permit. It's demolition and it's one time. The building permit has, yes.
One other question. So by dismissing this,
Mhm.
then we would go back out and it would be recited correctly.
Absolutely. That's what we intend to do
Documentation.
with the same documentation, because that the evidence was collected by an inspector. He did go inside the house. If he hadn't made this mistake in the wording, we would be good with this case. But with consultation with the building official, he told us this wasn't correct and we needed to make sure we corrected the violation.
Okay,
All right,
I'll make a motion to dismiss.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. It will be dismissed, but it will be recited. Yes.
I don't think he asked, but it was being dismissed.
I apologize, sir. I did owe you the time to talk. I'm so sorry.
First of all, thank you, all of you, for your help. We have another case also
Yeah.
that I had spoken to the building official and to Doreen in reference to, because I represent my cousin in reference to everything that's going on with her property. All the violations and all the citation that they had given us. There was one that was issued and they charged us $2,500. And we want to see if we can get some relief because she's spending a lot of money to try to do the things right. And we're trying to comply with everything they're asking us. So I had spoken to Doreen and I wanted to bring it in front of the board if they can give us a relief on the ticket that's for $2,500. That when we came up, she thought she didn't need a permit for it when she called the building department for the outside and for the stuccoing. And then they had decided us to pay $2,500. We paid all the violations. We even paid the fees for the expired permits prior for us buying the house for plumbing. That was $1,200. We also did another expired permit that when the real estate
We
company.
do, yeah.
For a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Could we get to that case and then you could?
Okay,
present it?
oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm
It is
sorry,
a case,
sorry. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. You have to
So
read.
we
his
all
case.
are on the same page.
The case is
No,
E.
Sir,
Hold on, sir.
the
Staff.
code
I'm
officer.
ahead of myself.
Thank you for that.
Okay. Next item is C, 971 Northeast, 113th Street. case number EEN 0745.
No, that's not, I'm sorry.
Hold on, hold on.
Oh,
He has to read all the record.
Oh, okay.
Into the record.
I'm sorry.
Where,
There it is. Okay, EEN 210745.
that's correct.
Okay.
We're asking for this case to be dismissed due to the evidence that does not support the case.
This case, I'll elaborate a little bit. This case was issued for the residents doing work outside of permitted time. However, when our inspector got to the property, I'm not sure what exactly happened, but I will state on the record, he did do his inspection, he did document, but unfortunately, this was a violation that was for time. He took the evidence when the permitted time started. So they couldn't do work before 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. He took the evidence after 9 o'clock. So I'm unable to provide evidence to the court, to the board that says that they were in violation and they were working before 9 o'clock. And that is the reason why we're asking for this case to be dismissed as well.
Would you like to? And I'm sorry, if you would state your name and your, again, in your relationship to the property.
My name is George Martinez and she's my cousin. State your name.
Elizabeth Corcho.
And is there anything else you'd like to add to what the code officer said?
No, not in reference to that case.
Any questions?
Well, the only question I says, Ed, what evidence would he have presented before? I mean,
It had to be with.
Great
before the
question.
time, Presented it after the 9 o'clock. time.
Right. The evidence that should have showed that he arrived at the property when the violation was occurring. We issue violations based on observation. So if I went there after the permitted time and took the evidence, then the evidence could not be enforceable. Is that the word?
And it needs to
Oh,
be
if, right,
documented and time-stamped and.
absolutely. So these pictures were time-stamped after 9 o'clock.
I guess that's what I was asking, because I didn't see any pictures. and
Right.
What would have made the difference?
Oh.
How did we know other than a sworn test?
That's what likely happened, but we
I-
don't have him not here anymore.
I will provide the pictures I do
I was
have
gonna say, if
and enter them into evidence.
you as the officer, the evidence wasn't substantiated, I will make a motion. Second.
I would
I
second.
got a question.
Mhm.
Rather than dismiss, because we already rolled on it, and we have the order of enforcement, no, we have to rescind the order of enforcement rather than dismiss the case.
That would be part and parcel, I would think, if we just, oh, good point, since it's already a sitting order of
Order.
enforcement. In addition to dismissing the case.
Can we
Yeah, I wrote that.
do the amended order?
Sorry.
I believe an amended order would suffice. An amended order would suffice.
Right.
Okay, I'll make a motion on, rescind my previous motion and make a motion on case number EEN 21-745. Send the previous order, send an amendment.
All in favor? We have a motion and a second, passes 4-0 to just to rescind the previous order and dismiss the case.
Next item, item E, 971 Northeast 113th Street, case number EEN 22-0089. In reference to this case, the fines have been paid and come into compliance. And the case has been closed.
Yes, and we would like to put it on the record that because this case did appear before the board before, we have filed an affidavit of compliance.
It's E.
You're looking for us. Close the case. It's been paid. Okay. Motion.
Compliance.
Motion to, on case number EEN 22-0089. We come into compliance. All fines have been paid. Case is to be closed.
I'll second for discussion. Linda, I mean, I think Linda made.
No, I got it.
Oh,
I
okay.
just couldn't find, they're out of order, I'm sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion in the second passes 4-0. Closed case.
Next item. Item F. 971 Northeast 113th Street, case EEN 22-0090. This is a seize order for construction work being conducted without first obtaining a permit.
This case came before the board and you did fine them $2,500 and they're here to ask for relief on the $2,500.
Right, this is the 25. And he's asking for relief,
That's correct.
but we have a relief procedure. There's paperwork that has to be filled out. I believe there is a fee. Going through that procedure, they need to detail everything. So a fine reduction, sir, we cannot hear tonight.
Okay.
That will need to be added hopefully to
the
December's
next
meeting.
December
But
21st.
I would ask you, please, sir, to go into the office. The code officers will provide you with the proper paperwork and explain the methodology. And again, there is a small fee to apply for this, but you hear that separately from case.
Okay, no problem.
Make
I
a
understand.
motion to
Thank you.
table it to the next meeting.
So we will table 0090 until the December meeting.
Well,
Yeah.
why would we table it if they have to actually apply? Wouldn't we just
Oh, you're
Um,
right, you're right.
make a
You're right.
motion to
But
not
we have
hear
Make a
this or
motion to not hear the
dismiss
case.
or close it?
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
Let me rephrase my motion. We will simply not take action tonight on 0090 until such time as the applicant fills out the proper paperwork or find relief.
Need a second and a vote. I made the motion to not hear the case.
And my second. Or did you second?
I have a second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Next item, G, 971 Northeast 113th Street, case number EEN 22-0091. Observe construction work on property without permit. In regards to this case, the fees have been paid in full and is in compliance.
I see that the permit was issued. Make a motion to close the case.
I got a question on this one.
And the fine has been paid?
Um,
Yes, the fines have been paid.
Is this not another one that had an order of enforcement? too?
It did have an order of enforcement. They owed $500. They came into compliance before the compliance date, so no fines, daily fines run on that case. So they did pay the violation fine.
Okay, but again,
Pulled the permit before, when they
but,
were-
okay.
Before
I got that, I
right.
got that. Okay.
I have to say,
April the 5th.
this I found interesting. The notes show a March compliance date.
Yes.
The order of enforcement shows as if this was heard at March 16th meeting. There's March 16th agenda. It's not on there.
That's what
This-
this-
What's the
I
question
got
again?
very
I'm sorry, I
confused.
missed that.
The order of enforcement,
Uh-huh,
the notes from this particular meeting, the February meeting, which are attached to one of the others,
right,
say March 23rd, I believe.
March 23rd,
as
yes.
the compliance date.
Mm-hmm,
The order of enforcement, which obviously is what we have to go by, says ordered on March 16th with an April compliance date. Yet, if you look at minutes from March's meeting,
March.
another one of our
That's why I was getting very confused.
because I would look right away thinking if, it shows a different date. than
There
the-
was a period when when the orders were not ready.
In
and
time,
we had-
and
in
we had to
time,
re-vote on
we
them.
had-
Re-vote
We had to
on them.
re-vote
time
on them.
for it
Yes.
So that may be what happened.
You are
then.
correct.
Yes.
That has to be what happened here. That was,
I would also like to put it on the record again that the three of us are custodian of records. We did not issue these violations. We are going back to research and correct everything.
Basically, I looked at the fact that the order of compliance here was to be April the 8th.
prior.
pulled
Yes.
On April.
That's what happened.
I'd make like motion to dismiss, I mean, close the case.
I'll second.
The first and a second, all in favor? Motion passes 4-0 to close case.
This was it for 971, but we will invite you to the office to come and fill out the paperwork for the other case. We'll schedule it for December 21.
Okay.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you, everybody, for your time
very
also and for your help.
Coming in.
And thank you very much, Doreen and your staff, okay?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next item, item I, 11031 Northeast 9th Avenue, case number EEN 22-0573. This is in reference to conducting unsafe electrical construction life and safety issues. The property owners at this time are here asking for reduction of fines, relief.
Again, yes.
If they're asking for fine relief, that has to be handled through a different process. You ask police that you would go into the office, meet with the code department. They will give you the proper
Can I interrupt?
paperwork and
1 second.
and
let her go.
explain the formula, the way you have everything to be filled out, and we need to hear this. Hopefully, you'll finish it in time at the next meeting, but fine reductions are handled in a different process.
Okay, so we're not asking for relief. We're actually asking for it to be dismissed. Based on the fact that that violation was given to us within the time that we had. Okay, so the story is that we had electrical work being done in the house. And then they went to go check that electrical work the first time, and they found that some of those things were not being done correctly. Yeah, they made comments of
Sorry,
what
ma'am, I
needed to be.
apologize. I should have asked you.
My
sir.
name.
Your-
Yeah,
your
sorry.
name
Annabelle Castilla,
Patricio Castilla.
and your-
and we're the owners.
you-
Okay, So within that time frame, they made comments of what needed to be fixed, right? So at that time, we started fixing what needed to be fixed. And that's when we received the violation while we were in the process of fixing what was done during those comments. At the same time, there was, because the gentleman that was going to our house to check these inspections went several times and he would give us one comment at a time, which was already weird within itself. But we found that our electrical contractor wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. So then we came to the city because the city was filing already an appeal for this person, this electrical worker, to get their license revoked, just because of the work that was being done in our home was unsafe. Obviously, we don't know if it's safe or not. We go by what this guy was saying. So the city asked that we change contractors, which we were changing contractors. We submitted the paper that needed to be done to change contractors within that period for them to fix what needed to be fixed. The house is already in compliance. We submitted the paperwork to change the contractor. There was a gentleman that came to our house a couple weeks ago and signed off and said, everything's in compliance, you're good to go. And that's my case.
I would turn this over to the code officer.
And to refresh the memory of the board members, this is the same property that had the issue with a generator. We had 2 of those cases dismissed because information was not properly done, the verbiage was wrong. This case in particular, we were not able to verify certain things. We are not electrical inspectors. So when you hear her say this person that went to the house, it was an electrical inspector. The electrical inspector is who told the code officer to issue the violation based on what he saw. We've seen the pictures. We are not electrical inspectors, so we cannot tell what is wrong with that picture.
Does everyone remember?
Yeah.
You ruled on this, yes, you ruled. Right. Right.
My main question, was there a permit? Is there a permit
Mhm.
for electrical work?
For the electrical work that was
Because why
done.
would we have an electrical inspection or an inspection or any electrical work being done if there
Yeah.
was no permit pulled?
Did you guys pull a permit?
Yeah, that's why the gentleman kept showing up to inspect.
Because our
based
electrical
on the permit.
inspector was going,
No, I,
chances are there was a permit. I would like to go back and confirm that. Make sure I see the actual document.
I was gonna
But,
say, if you brought your permit with you, if you
It
could
would have
present it.
been.
Actually, he
evidence.
took the yellow sheet, right?
Mhm.
He took
Right.
it.
The yellow
and
sheet that,
he
Yeah.
said,
Okay.
My,
The drawings.
drawings
Right,
from
so
the
the
engineering.
last gentleman that came was what, a month ago
been
already? He
finalized?
signed the paperwork.
has the permit been finalized
Yes.
and cleaned out?
Yeah, he did the final inspection was done a month ago.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to table on case number EEN 22-573. To table this until we can verify that a permit was pulled, given that we have already previously entered an
course.
order. All right.
I would second that. Any other comments from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have a motion and a second to table to December 21st. Bring back the proof of a permit and hopefully final at this point.
December 21st, I'll send you a notice to appear.
Okay, thank you.
Next item, N 11935 Northeast Fifth Avenue, case number EEN 210185.
Ms. Grant, do you want to speak first or do you want me to speak first?
With all due respect, counsel, I would like to ask the board to dismiss this case. I just put into evidence, and I would like you to look at the evidence I've brought before you. Where this violation was issued was incorrect. The chapters that were cited, and I've put them in the order that you can look at and see. The officer cited chapters for a regular fence. However, the violation was for a construction fence. They are very separate chapters, and I've highlighted that so the board has ease of reference. I'm asking that this case be dismissed.
This is another one. I don't think you can just dismiss it. I think you have to rescind what we did before and.
Yeah, that would rescind, rescind the order and then dismiss.
No, I was just, looking at, made a note that I had noted that there was a permit pulled, back in 4/29 and 21. And that, I would think that was for, I believe this was for demolition.
Right, the permit
And
is
so
for
the
a
permit,
demo.
that would be part of, that
Yeah,
would be included with the demolition.
it would, yes, you're right, it would be included with demolition, but what the building official has done now is if they're pulling a permit for demolition, they have to have a complete building permit.
Mm.
Those have to go hand in hand. The demolition permit has since expired, and I would ask your client to look at that. There is no building permit, so there's no reason for us to ask them to have a construction fence.
What is the condition of the property?
Property is good. I was there last week. I took some
That was
pictures.
not the case with this property. Has it been?
It used to have a lot of issues. There were vehicles before, and when I went to the property last week, everything was good. It's
Okay,
clean,
and
it's
the pool-
cut.
There's no longer a pool.
The pool should be there. I didn't look at where the side, the back where the pool is, but the front is clean and didn't drawing no
What
attention.
is securing the pool?
There is a fence, there is a construction fence. And they should be pictures that would, did we give them any pictures? One more. There should be pictures that the condition of the property now. Some pictures when I went there.
Yeah, it's just,
Fence.
yeah,
The
the
outside.
fence, and I don't know about it, I just know there's a lot of
There's-
vines and
Right.
a lot of brush and overgrown throughout the property. I mean, I live on the street.
You
right in
live down,
front of it.
right, there's,
Griffin.
when you see how the fence is, there is no access for me to get inside, and I
Right.
can't get inside, there's a gate.
Mhm.
But I was looking for looking from, through the lens of the violations that were there before, the vehicles, there was a dumpster, and
There was debris and
right,
dumpster and
none of that stuff is
There
there
is a
now.
It
pool.
was an unsafe lot.
as well as, I believe, fish pond.
So this construction fence does actually secure the swimming pool.
If the board will allow me the opportunity,
Ma'am, your name in relationship to the property, please?
yes, Madam Chair, my name is Rachel Streitfeld. I'm the attorney for the property owner. It's Biscayne Urban Homes LLC. The principal is a gentleman, Omri Bar Mashiach, and he owns several properties here in your jurisdiction. And he's a New Yorker and is not local. And the contracting company that he had working for him here in the village of Biscayne Park wasn't doing a great job. Now that he's come to terms with the gravity of the violations and the reality of enforcement, I've been brought on to the team to make sure that going forward, your community is respected in all aspects. And one of the reasons why you've seen the improvements at 11935 is because we've basically cracked the whip and said, we're not going to tolerate the negligence in terms of maintenance on these properties anymore. So the client has authorized me to make myself available. If you have any questions, Ms. Grant and frankly, the village manager can attest to the fact that we've been in constant communication with the village of Biscayne Park since I've been engaged by the client. And so we would ask for your support in the dismissal of the case, but since fines have been accruing for quite some time, I would also be very grateful for confirmation from the board that those fines will also be dismissed.
Well, yes, we rescind the order of enforcement along with it, the fines.
Fantastic. Thank you. And we'll receive something in
I'm
writing
sorry.
to
You will
that
receive
effect.
an order in the mail.
Absolutely.
Any other comments from the board?
I will receive it in the mail, Ms. Grant, or the property owner will.
I will receive it, but I will copy you on the email.
That would be very helpful. Thank you very much.
Do I have a motion?
I'll give you my card.
Oh, Yes, on case number EN 21-185, I'd like to make a motion. Testimony to rescind order of enforcement. Yeah, rescind and dismiss the order. of entered April the 8th.
I'll second. All in favor? Motion passes to dismiss, to rescind and dismiss 4-0.
Thank you all for your time and for your service. Much appreciated.
Next item, K 11910 Northeast 11 Court. Case number EEN 21-1315. It's a swimming pool installed without first obtaining a permit.
115.
That's correct.
There's an attorney here to represent the owner of the property. I'm sorry to interrupt. But they will have to, I think, go through the same process, come to the office and make the application for reduction. They have quite a few liens that have accumulated on 3 different cases. So they will have to go through the process of applying, and then we can table them to December 21st.
Tonight, 3 cases. Okay.
And I apologize for that, Mr. Masood. You came to the office and we should have given you that.
I have a question, and it's actually, this is a photo in more than one of these cases. I'm looking at
Construction
this
fence.
fence. That this is a client.
Doesn't look safe. I did go to a building inspector to verify because I'm not a building inspector. When I saw that and took a compliance
Is that
picture,
not what we require our pool builders to do? Every other pool builder.
they have
has
much
had to do it.
sturdier.
If you remember the lady who was in front of us last
Yeah.
year, she didn't get, even though she'd had multiple inspections done, almost finished with her pool before she got a notice to get a real construction fence. She had this up and she was tagged for it.
Yes.
So I don't understand calling this.
When I saw that the first time, those were my sentiments as well. It didn't look safe to me, but I did verify with a
Because-
building inspector, and they said he was there. And then the inspector said, this is
But it-
fine. However,
Against her ordinance.
absolutely. However, as you say, Mr. Masood is here and he's listening. That fence doesn't look safe.
It violates our ordinance. I mean, we require an actual construction fence.
yes.
Pictures.
Around the pool.
Pictures further back.
Yes.
This is what we could do 20, 30 years ago.
Yes. Respectfully, I agree with what the board is, the chairs is saying.
So if I may ask, basically, these 3 cases that are coming before us, because I had written a note, isn't this a fine reduction?
Yeah, I did too.
So did I save us some time and
Lump it as
make,
one and say,
comply and make
Abs-
a motion on the 3?
To be tabled to December 21st, and that gives them enough time to do a
Well,
better
well,
fence.
actually, it's
Just, I'd like to make a motion to take no
no
action
action.
and
Second one.
have the resident apply for a fine reduction if they see fit. I mean, otherwise, it just remains. If they want a fine reduction, then
There
If
are
I'm-
liens on this.
if I may,
Okay.
I'll second.
You have.
May I
Okay,
get
have
a word
first
in?
and I have a first and a second.
wait a minute. We didn't give them an
I
opportunity to
apologize.
speak. I'm
Attorney.
sorry.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you.
Good evening, board. Thank you for your time. My name is Hiram Michael. I'm here with Plaza Law Group. I'm here today with the unit owner, Masood Hajali. He's the owner of PM2 Group. The reason we're here today is mainly for two reasons, is to either seek a reduction or a complete dismissal or waiver of the fines that were assessed on the property. For the following reasons. When my client first purchased the property, he's an investor and an engineer, so he focuses on purchasing properties and revamping them. In this case, he wanted to add a pool the legal way. He contracted with a pool contractor, but unfortunately, that pool contractor later came to find out he didn't ever get the permit to construct the pool, nor did he erect the construction fence, but to no fault to my client. And I believe, I have a timeline here. My client also was here on a separate issue for some liens on the property that he was here, I believe, right here in front of his very board. And he was never, first of all, he never saw the publication, the notice, the violation notice on the property. And what we're concerned is we're of the belief that the pool contractor might have actually removed it. Other than that, like I mentioned earlier, he was here for a separate issue on some some fee hearing. There was a lien on the property, and back in February. And at no time was he ever advised that he had outstanding violations on the property.
Sir, I do have to correct you on one thing. It's intended. The property owner is the one ultimately responsible. If our contractor, their subs, whomever, don't follow our rules, it still is beholden of the property owner to keep on tabs at the top of everything, follow through it. Also, the buck stops with those of us who own the property.
I understand, ma'am. The only problem is that on a separate, for the actual citation, my client never received that either. And according to chapter 14.1.13, he's supposed to receive it by certified mail. I just want the record to reflect that. Unless the board or code enforcement office is able to provide a certified or return receipt that he actually received the notice of violation, or the citation rather.
Just give me a moment. I'm going through the files. I have on one of the cases, the posting, which
That's
does.
a violation notice,
Do
correct?
we have the
December.
county mailing address for this property? Because oftentimes folks say, well, I didn't get it, but you
I have a
haven't
copy of
updated your.
Sun Visit that would help.
I'm sorry,
I have a copy of what's listed
No,
on
we
Sun
go by
Visit, his
what-
actual mailing address.
because normally I believe you would go through the county. Am I
We
correct?
go through the county, but because this is a company, we have to
would go
send it
through
to
the
the
county.
registered agent in the corporate records
Gotcha.
with the state.
I mean, his address is
No
listed on the
postings
property
in here,
appraiser's
nothing,
website
no
and as
receipts
well
for
on
mailing.
SunViz.
We came here, there was another hearing, I came here in, if I'm not mistaken, it was May or June.
Mhm. I remember.
With the pool contractor. The pool contractor lied. On December last year, I signed a contract with him that he does all the, from the time that I purchased the property, I have done everything with the permit. I remodeled the whole house, I did the kitchens, bathroom, everything I have done, because I'm an engineer, I have calc engineering, I own the calc engineering, and we do plans, that's what I do regular base. I have done a lot of plans for Village of Biscayne Park for a lot of properties. From the first day, I started everything with the plans inside. But outside in my contract was that he get the permit himself and he hired his own engineer to do the pool permit. He collected the deposit, $10,000 from me. And sometimes in February, he told me that I got the permit. I'm gonna start. So he started, he lied to me that he got the permit and he started the pool.
Sir, among other things, the permits have to be displayed in front so that they're visible. Again, I've had a lot of construction work done in 42 years of living here. I stay on top of my contractor. I make sure those permits are in front of my house as they're legally required, because at the end, I'm gonna pay the price if they mess up.
And if you remember, he was here with me on May
remember.
or June that we came to
too.
the hearing, and he said that, oh, we do a lot of pools here in Village of Biscayne Park. My secretary told me that the pool was approved and later we made a mistake. That was the excuse that he
Right.
brought it up. So that he said that, oh, we thought that this pool was another.
You heard what I read at the beginning of the
You know what I'm
meeting,
saying?
sir.
So I just want to tell you that it was not my intention to do the pool
I
without the
understand.
permit.
I don't
Why?
believe it was.
Because
I
from the
understand.
first day I bought this property, there was $150,000 lien on the property from the previous owner that I came here, I negotiated, I brought everything to the court. Previous owner separated the house to 2 units.
Okay.
One
so
second, Mr. Masood, please. The chair would like to speak.
Should we take no action tonight, have him come back for the fine reduction? That also gives you the opportunity to pull any additional records. Absolutely.
Well, I would stand by the motion made that,
Exactly.
no, we just take no action. It gives the village an opportunity to pull the records, and if they find where the certified mailing, I'll get with the resident and present it. If at that time they decide to file for a fine reduction, fine. If not, then the case can always be brought back before us with the information or lack of information. But as it stands now, the case was already heard, fines were already assessed and a daily fine assessed. I really couldn't change any decisions tonight
Simply
based off
take
the
no action
information.
tonight.
But for the record, could you state whether or not, well, my client is in compliance regarding the property?
I'm
Is it-
sorry, whether or not
For the record, would you be able to state whether or not the property is in compliance? Because I noticed
that would be these folks.
The property is in compliance. However, as you heard the chair say, that fence around the pool needs to be upgraded. That doesn't look safe. That was one of the violations.
It's
you
still a
had.
matter of time of how.
You
long
still
the
have
compliance
time.
took. That
The
all
fence that you
factors
have
in.
around the pool, you already fixed it. I'll go back and re-inspect, but the last picture that I have is, oh, that will be fine. I can do that. Absolutely. I would like to verify one more thing with all due respect to the board. Your address for your registered agent. We've had a lot of mail come back. I would like you to put it on the record what your address, what the address for your company is or your registered agent. In the Doral. Okay.
And we can
All right.
only go by what your registered
records.
address is. We're not readers.
Mr. Masood, I would like to make it very clear. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute, the motion has
It's
been.
been, yes.
And seconded,
and seconded.
no action be taken.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We will take no action at this point.
Thank you for your time.
We're good with the next one?
Or do you have a case before us tonight? Okay, have you
Your
signed in?
address, sir?
Nick,
Okay, perfect. Why don't we do?
okay.
Yes, and Mr.
Next item, item A, 690 Northeast 118th Street, case number EEN 0577. This is improper storage of a scooter.
Swear it in.
Yeah, we swear them in. I didn't realize you were gonna- Thank you. So I do need to swear you in. I didn't realize you weren't here in the beginning.
No
If you-
problem.
If you wouldn't mind, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of the law.
I do.
Ready to go?
In reference to this case, we're asking that it be dismissed due to the fact we could not correlate the written violation with anything matching in the code.
This is a reason.
Mhm.
And we request that it be dismissed.
Or discussion?
My name's David Gotlinski. I'm the property owner.
If you
And-
could just give us.
Oh,
one
sure.
second, sir.
Oh,
No, I
Right.
here recently, and I'm just looking at the picture of the documentation. Only one
Right,
bike
there's
and
one
the thing.
scooter. And we
I
talked.
believe believe at the time of the hearing, it was,
Five or
it
something?
was
There were
pictures were
several.
several,
Mhm.
motorcycle, I mean,
Scooters.
there also, and testimony of the, code officer. But I don't know. Hmm.
And I can only act on the information that is before me.
Absolutely. Sarah, would you like to, before we take a vote?
yeah, my
think
name's
you know how
David
this is going.
Gotlinski. I'm the property owner. And just to inform you that all of the scooters are no longer on the property. There are no more scooters. There's no more jet ski.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to rescind the order of enforcement from September 28th
Or to dismiss?
and dismiss.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to dismiss and rescind 4-0. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
Said all.
And there was no code cited.
There was no section on the
And
violation.
I
Right.
thought the same thing when we first saw that. This felt like a fraud. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
And I want the board to know that we have gone through extensive research, myself and Luciano, to find information that we
Sure,
can make these
I have
cases
no doubt.
concrete before we bring them to the board. But when we are unable to find information, we are unable to substantiate what is being said. I'm sorry that we have to bring these cases for dismissal.
I think, I know
You're
in
doing
some
the
of the
right thing.
cases, we've made rulings that, based on.
And I'm glad to see we're moving away from that. I mean, technically it's sworn testimony. I'm glad we're moving away from that. It's the real thing. It's not a numbers game, it's quality and professionalism. Okay, my speech is over. Sorry.
Next item is B. That's 826 Northeast 121 Street, case number EEN 22-0383.
Update.
Sorry, the attorneys for the representing the owners have been in contact with our village manager, and that our village manager did express that there was no update.
That was all we asked for.
Not, that's the whole point. We have been so lenient. All right, August 17th. Bear with me. Danny made a motion, second by Dale, grant extension, to submit plans to P and Z by September 28th, report back to code board. If not submitted, daily fine of $100 commences August 18th. September We moved it to the October meeting. In October, Mario provided us with a memo asking us to not hear it until after the first quarter. But as part of Linda's motion, it was, they were to provide an update. And we don't,
And that's correct. And we did send an email to the attorney.
I saw that, it's on here.
That's all we asked for, was
Yep.
just an update.
You know, question to my fellow board members,
What do we do
where
now?
are we going from here? Because I am not at all comfortable saying, it's okay, we told you to do something, we didn't really mean it. And that's essentially what it comes across like. It was a simple thing. We didn't ask them to be ready to go build. We just said an update.
And Janie, I hear you, and I would agree if it wasn't for our village manager writing us a letter saying that he's been in contact with the
That's the letter. we got.
Property
That's the
owner.
letter. Gail, that's the letter from last month.
October the 24th.
That's
Yes.
last month.
I know, I understand. And the latter part of the quarter of 2023. If he said they've met, he spoke with him also.
Yes.
And then I believe this one is from November 10th, as per the motion handling. But if the village manager is in contact, I don't know what's been said. And I hear you. I would like to know from the village manager,
But the
did
thing-
he tell him not to provide us with a,
But he can't. He can't overrule a board ruling.
okay, well then, it's true.
And that was part of our ruling. I wish we had the notice of enforcement or the order of enforcement on this. I'm sure it said that. I'm absolutely certain the order of enforcement said a report.
There is an order of enforcement attached, and it does say monthly process
I
report
only
to be
have-
submitted to code
I'm
compliant
missing that. page.
board, case to be reheard. Oh, this is April,
Thank you.
and it says case to be reheard at April the 23rd meeting.
Oh, I'm missing it because I, yes, here it is. Monthly progress report to be submitted to code compliance board. Okay? They didn't do what the order said.
I would say for now, I would go back, I would go back to the village manager and maybe meet with the attorneys and emphasize what the board needs and what the board is asking for. If they can give an update within a week or maybe within a short period of time, I will be able to send that information to the board members,
Well,
if that would be okay.
or could we go ahead, I guess I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that on case number EEN 22-383, and this is for discussion, that the property owners are in violation of the request to provide a progress report and assess a fine of $500. If a report is not, I don't know, assess a fine of $500.
I absolutely just testify in the I agree. No, I'm agree. I just want to make sure I get the
Yeah.
motion that I absolutely would second that. I mean, I think we have done everything possible to show good faith, and I realize it is incumbent upon us to show good faith because we're trying to get this worked out, not spite anybody. But now, come on. If that's a simple enough thing, one paragraph in an email, and you've done what was asked of you.
Their period of time for them to, for their 500 to be in effect, if they issue, say tomorrow they sent us an update, would the 500 still be a penalty? That they have to,
Because they had a deadline.
because they're in violation already.
They were sent notice.
Order of
Yes.
enforcement.
They got the order enforcement as well as they received an email.
Yes.
Yeah, the email was dated November the 10th.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you to the board. I just wanted to make that clear for me to report back to the manager.
That's a $500 fine.
Okay.
My second, oh, you seconded. Get ahead of me. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
No, it's just that they didn't provide an update.
Particularly, it
to
is
the
such
board.
a simple request. Right. Right? And when you look,
Next item, H. That's 1035 Northeast 114th Street, case number EEN 21-0562. Observed AC work being done without permit.
This case was heard before the board. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It was heard before the board. I'm not sure which month it was. But when we did our research, we found that the property owners were in compliance the same day that the violation was issued. So this case should have never come to the board. And again, I'm back here to ask for a dismissal.
Yes, I've written down dismiss. I see where the permit was
of
pulled on
course,
April
the same day,
29th.
they got
The
the
same
notice, they
date.
did it.
I'd like to make a motion on case number EEN 21-562 to rescind the order of enforcement signed June 14th, 2021, and dismiss the case.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carried 4-0 to rescind and dismiss. So what do we know from Mr. Candelario? Any-
Yes. No, I haven't called it yet.
We're on J? We're going to
J.
Yes. Item J. It's 11221 Northeast 11th Place, case number EEN 22-0539. Failing to maintain property, dirty roof. A re-inspection was conducted and the property owner is in compliance. The roof was repaired and cleaned.
Good, done.
He's clear.
It's in compliance, so we're asking for the board to close this case.
Agreed.
Yes, we did make that correction. Is that the one with the 515 case number? No, that's a different case. We're talking about 715. Just,
It's crossed out over here.
so should we dismiss or close? They've complied.
But he's close to comply. I mean, the man did everything possible.
Yes.
It's his insurance company that kept him
Yes.
screening.
Yes.
You can't control that, so.
Absolutely.
Linda, your motion is to dismiss. I'll second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, 4-0 to dismiss.
And the last item, that would be the 715 Northeast 115th Street, case number EEN 20-0515. Roof addition installed without first obtaining permits.
Item 5A.
That's correct.
I have to admit, when we go back to Dropbox, it's like tonight, because you would call a case and I'd have to flip through papers. Whereas if I have my laptop up, I just go look for it, and there it is. That's why I got out of position on the
Okay.
first one. Because I'm flipping through reams of paper. Can't wait to get back to Dropbox.
A clarification on that, this is the case that was moved from new to old, so that's why we're calling it a different letter instead of A. So it will be O.
So they are not in compliance, I take it?
This case was tabled for April, I believe, to be heard before the board, but it wasn't heard. However, once we sent out the notice to appear, the property owner came to the village, and she did bring us pictures, and well, not pictures, she did put a statement on the record saying that she bought the house like with that roof. I was hoping she came here to testify.
Yeah, but we can't do that, Linda. We can't do what you just did.
On the record. I would have preferred for her to come and give this testimony herself. This is what she told us in the office, and I asked her to come and give this information directly to the board, but she's not here today.
I know you mean well. You're not gonna be happy with what I'm about to say. But I think due to what was just said, I think you need to say it. We can't do that. We can't offer our opinion like that. It's frustrating, yes, but we can't. I don't think we have a choice but to dismiss it. I don't know how board members feel, but
Well, I just want to hear the case presented. I mean, it's here and there's no permits on file. Please apply for permits.
And we went to the property, we inspected, and we saw the structure. But she came in and she said, look, I bought this house exactly how it looks. So me being a custodian of record, again, I'm not able to verify that.
I mean, is there an issue as a resident and sitting on the board if we have, I mean, the case is being presented by the code officer saying that there's no, our officials saying there's no permit on record. Why is it that if I'm a resident or I live across or I have knowledge of a property, that wouldn't come into play? That I know that this was.
because legally, we have to do everything based on what code says, not on what we see or don't see.
All right, I hear you. Code said that there's no permit. Oh,
And that code said, but she said, I
She
mean,
came
I'm
in.
only one board. I just feel very uncomfortable. I think-
Right, as board members, you are supposed to be impartial to the village and to the residents.
That's not
So we
impartial.
can, right. That's where I agree with the chairperson.
I understand.
Legally,
So honorable.
as much as you can give evidence on a case, when you're ruling on a case, you have to be impartial.
My motion would stand to dismiss.
and
You're the judge, not the witness.
exactly. No, I'm just trying to think if it can be cited another way, if it's not, if it's that anything that, unless it had been grandfathered in, which that would be from a previous period, we may want to look at that. So for discussion's sake, I will go ahead and second Janie's motion, and to have it dismissed, and just would question whether this could be not within the code, doesn't meet property.
We agree.
Direction, that's just a comment.
We would comment back and say that's something we can do. We can follow up on this. She did say she will bring us a survey that shows how the property sits and that shows the roof, the structure, how it looked when she bought the property. If she does bring in that evidence, then I would be happy to report back to the board.
I just want to mention something. They should have a picture when they first inspected the house.
Yes.
Should have a top view of the house.
No, we didn't have, they don't, no. with the evidence that we were able to gather, only had a picture from the side.
You ready to vote? Okay, we have a motion to dismiss and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3 with Linda refusing. Okay, now we're on to, I'm sorry, any other cases, any other?
There are no more cases.
Okay, now we are on to, if you remember. Lovely fine. Here.
Oh, it's different?
Oh, you put it on.
Yeah.
Oh, their opinion, hopefully, that's what we did. Because it seems to me, from the research, Linda, that you pulled, we kind of stayed under
We did.
other cities. And really, my whole reasoning behind kind of one. You can't go from first grade to high school in one jump. I mean, you got to kind of start in steps, and I think we did a really, really nice job. And the other thing I'm hoping we will get to after we do this, a little discussion on the admin citations, if I can find what I did with that paper. But anyway, everybody take a quick look, because I want you to make sure, catch any typos.
And I be anal as usual. On the second page where we talk about the public safety threat, the word is, should be imminent with an I. IMMINENENT. It's not imminent, it's imminent with an I.
Thank you. Imminent.
Well, there is a word that is imminent, but it's not the correct definition for
No, I
this.
appreciate that. Thank you.
But I don't think this was a typo. I think this is the way it was on the other papers.
But still, I can correct that. I appreciate that. But check particularly the fines, make sure you guys are comfortable and.
I was comfortable in there as they're typed as, or written up as we had discussed.
Paper. I had a sheet on, okay, while I'm looking for it, if you guys are comfortable with this, I think we should vote. Oh, I'm sorry. Doreen. Donald?
Looks good to me.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
If we redo it, Jane, can we also, again, this is me being anal, line up the columns so that they match. Well, I'll be glad to retype it. I say that, is it done in Word? Is it done you know what?
Is it on a PDF document? You can just send it.
It can be redone.
Oh, yeah. No, you sent them all,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
But what's the original format for the?
Oh, in the
file?
first Senate, yeah,
It's in Excel?
with the new one? I didn't get the new one.
It came with the 2 minutes. You got it?
This is the new one, just,
Yeah.
I received the hard copy.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh.
Yeah, no, none of it does. That's why I said I would
Alright,
like to
good
try
night.
it, see if I can do it in Excel and make it line up right. No, 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 I'm talking about like, you know, like
Okay,
what says.
I'll
April-
check it out. And could I ask
No,
a
it's-
question?
it's-
Is- How does your email come across? Does it come across as Village of Biscayne Park, Raphael, or Raphael? Then chances are I
Just like-
deleted it.
These are fine. Like this
Sorry.
one is here, this one's over here. You know what I'm
That's not-
saying?
If I did not, if I didn't recognize it, I just,
Okay, like I put the 600. under
I
that.
just do a, go down the list,
No, no,
deleting
no, no,
everything I
no,
don't
no, no,
recognize.
no, no. But I'd
I'm
like,
sure it won't be the last time,
but I'd like everybody to
but I'll be on the lookout now, Raphael. So send me a message.
Take you as long.
I think they're good.
I think they're fine.
Me too.
I went